Kyren is him. Kyren might arguably be running back 2 overall going forward. Not arguably, he really is. I'd love to hear one strong argument against Kyren Williams being number 2 overall for RBs going forward. He absolutely exploded. We're going to talk about Kyren. We're going to talk about Bijan. Bijan, baby. Bijan is back. Zay Flowers. Yeah, he's a moon man.
To the moon.
He's on the moon, but he's also him. Ridley's back. Ridley's been back, but a whole lot more to go over. Week 12 reactions coming up live here on the Fantasy Football Show. So buckle up, Buttercups. It's going to be quite a wild ride tonight. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. Live after games, after Sunday games, after Monday games, after Thursday games, you name it. We recap. Basically, if a game or a series of games has occurred, we are here to document it, react to it, and help you potentially win your championship. But wow. Yeah, Sebastian says, is this the best week of the season? I mean, we've had some pretty damn good weeks here on the Fantasy Football Show from a show prediction perspective. This has got to be up there with one of them. I mean, we just had player after player go off. Now, granted, we've had some injuries. We've had some, Javonte Williams not being used properly situations. But for the most part, Gibbs didn't quite have the week we wanted him to have this week. But he's been on fire lately. Gibbs is absolutely glorious. We're not going to rip on Gibbs for 1 week. But goodness gracious, what an outstanding performance from so many players on the screen. So proud of this guy right here, Zay. So proud of this guy here, Kyren Williams. Some of you had a lot of tough dilemmas on Kyren, like Kyren and Kamara and Kyren and JT. And some of you had like 4 players and you could only start 3 of them, and Kyren was one of them, and you're playing in a 3-man great grandma league, and 3 or 4 of the people don't even check their lineups in your league, but it doesn't matter. You're still playing in it, and you had Kyren and Kamara and JT and ETN, and you had some really tough dilemmas. But for the most part, anybody that had Kyren played him, unless you were in one of those scenarios, and Kyren absolutely won you single-handedly your matchup this week. I don't want to hear that if you lost with Kyren, if Kyren was in your lineup and you lost the week, Kyren was an absolute phenom. Absolute phenom. My lowest scoring team this week, Sebastian says, was 156. That was his bad league. He just exploded. Oh, it's good to see all you amazing folks dropping missiles all over left and right. Let's get into it. I mean, what a crazy week we had. Let's start off with Kyren Williams, the man of the hour. Kyren Williams was an absolute monster today. Absolute monster. And I beg to ask this question, and I'm very curious if anybody can give me a legitimate answer. Legitimate. Why this guy shouldn't be considered the running back 2 going forward behind Christian McCaffrey. How is Kyren not the number 2 overall running back going forward? He is. It doesn't matter what he might be in 2024 and beyond. There's going to be some questions about, can this carry over? Can a McVay system carry over from year to year? If Stafford's not there, what happens? Is McVay going to even be there? What in the hell happens, a year or 2 from now if this setup isn't exactly the same? But if you've got Kyren right here and right now, he's the number 2 running back in fantasy football, and there's just no argument against it. Nobody can make the argument against it. Nobody. And I dare anybody to call up and try and argue how another player aside from Christian McCaffrey ranks number 2 overall, because Kyren is running back 2 going forward. He rushed the ball 16 times for 143 yards and a touchdown. And more importantly, he grabbed 6 receptions for 61 yards and another touchdown. He is so involved in the passing game, he cannot get game scripted out. He cannot get game scripted out. Ridley's been my curse, shaking my head. Why would he be your curse? He's going nuts right now. You benching him 2 weeks in a row, Slim? What are we doing there? Kyren's a monster. Kyren is running back 2. Running back 2. Plain and simple. Yeah, and this is probably the best pickup of the year for anybody that did pick him up off waivers. He was certainly kind of questionable walking into the season. This is a guy I actually had pegged to unseat Akers a year ago. I really, really like Kyren walking into not this season, but the previous season. I liked him this season, but I didn't like him near as much as walking into the previous season. And Kyren got hurt that year, and that was the year I had some big predictions for him, and they fell flat because he got hurt. And a year later, this guy's absolutely glorious. And I wish I would have seen more of this coming. I think a lot of us could say that, but this is the nice surprise that is fantasy football. There's always a player or two every year. Last year it was McKinnon. This year it's Kyren Williams. This year it's been Puka and Kyren. Ironically, the same team. McVay's offense is fire, plain and simple. But the great part about Kyren is he's almost a guaranteed touchdown or 2. Almost a guaranteed 100 total yards. You don't even know if it's going to come via reception work or rushing work, and you almost don't care. But this guy can get you 143 yards on 16 totes. The offense is magnificent. And don't try and say, oh, it's because of McVay. Who cares? It doesn't matter. You can't separate situation from player. This guy's an absolute monster. An absolute freaking monster. Kyren Williams is running back 2 moving forward. And I don't want to hear any arguments. But let's talk about another running back gem that we absolutely love here on the Fantasy Football Show. And he goes by the name of, some call him Bijan, some call him Bijan, but we call him Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson's a phenom. He just needs the work. He just needs the carries. And I've been waiting to press this button all season long, and it's depressing inside my soul that we've waited until after week 12 has concluded, the Sunday games. We've literally been unable to press this button because it didn't feel right to press it off of a single touchdown outing. And in some ways, I don't know that I want to potentially, I don't know if I want to potentially press this button now and like jinx whatever is about to come. But I think it's certainly deserving, and we're going to hit the button now for Bijan. Bijan Robinson scored 2 touchdowns in this glorious afternoon. 16 rushes for 91 yards and a touchdown in this Week 12 win against the Saints. And he added 3 receptions for 32 yards and a touchdown. Bijan Robinson is him. Bijan Robinson to the moon. Bijan Robinson is the man.
Hi, my name is Bijan Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring.
It feels glorious to hit that button. I've been waiting for a 2-touchdown affair and a little momentum to be able to press that button. Bijan Robinson is him. He just needs the work. Are we guaranteed the work? I don't know. I can't say that we're guaranteed, but I will say that I think the fact that we've heard insiders, and I've reported on this, I have a video on this, ESPN was reporting on this, that there have been individuals that have said that his time is coming. They are going to feed him. They know this. They've heard this. And who the hell knows how accurate that is, but it makes sense, and it certainly falls in line with what we've been seeing. And I think the fact that they're winning always enables what Arthur Smith is currently doing. And what he's currently doing is utilizing this man in a lot of ways near the red zone. He's still putting Cordero Patterson in there. He's still putting Algier in there. His favorite goal line rusher in the NFL is Tyler Algier. But we still are seeing a lot of usage out of Bijan, and they still run the ball a lot. So he feels like he's starting to really kick into high gear. 16 totes for 91 yards and a touchdown, and the 3 receptions for 32 and a score. It feels like it's here. It feels like we're scratching at the surface. I've always used that term with JT all year long, and JT looks glorious, does he not? JT looks fantastic. JT to the freaking moon. We'll talk about JT in a minute. One of the best buy lows all year long that we've talked about. Kyren has been kind of a nice surprise, right? But the guy that we really, really liked in the time of him being out and not utilized and on people's benches and has been JT. Kamara was the guy in the offseason that we loved, that everybody should have seen coming, but they didn't. JT was kind of that middle of the year guy that we figured would be amazing if you traded for him now. You know, we said when he was not able to play football, he was not going to be in people's lineups helping anybody for weeks, and it's like JT was sitting there ready to be stolen away in a trade and help people that could see, you know, ahead of the curve on it, and JT's been there, and Bijan's been the most recent go-get player. Buy him low. He can help you. Let someone else's fear of him never evolving be your reward, and go after this guy who's going to eventually, I think, get into what we're seeing now and maybe more, into 125, 130. I think this is 123 yards, right? 91, 30, 123 total yards and a touchdown. That feels very, very solid. That feels very, very solid. 123 total yards and a touchdown every single game feels very, very doable for Bijan Robinson. And so this has been our midseason on probably most recommended trade form type of player, you know, to help you win your league. And hold. Congrats to everybody that held him. I hope it does continue. I can't sit here with as much confidence as I am with Kyren right now and say this guy's top 5 guaranteed and locked, only because there's the Arthur Smith element. But Kyren Williams, if he stays healthy, it feels like the biggest top 5 running back lock there is in fantasy right now. Just absolutely locked and loaded. This guy has the capability to be every bit as good as this man, which has been the frustrating part all season long. He has every bit, Bijan, to be as good and productive and as locked and loaded in the top, 2 to 5 running back territory if it weren't for Arthur Smith. But Arthur Smith's presence is what makes us have a little pause and saying, okay, he's running back 3. I want him to be. He certainly could be. Could Bijan Robinson, could it go Christian McCaffrey, Kyren Williams, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, like top 5 running backs locked and loaded for the rest of the season? Could it go that route? Yeah. But again, element that they're in, the situation they're in has a lot to do with it, and we can't control some of the elements that are at play here. But we feel like they're lined up in the right direction. Bijan Robinson was an absolute monster today. 123 total yards and a tutty. This man Tank Dell doing Tank Dell things. Now let me just speak on this real quickly, because I think a box score Bobby may not understand what really occurred here today with this man right here. And I've got a box score Bobby graphic here. Box score Bobby would probably come in here and say something along the lines of like, hey, Smitty, it looks like Tank Dell isn't the guy anymore, and it might be Nico Collins again. Do you think I should bench Tank Dell this coming week, Smitty? And that's what a box score Bobby would say. But anybody that watched the game and didn't just watch the box score knows that this man Tank Dell had a 70-yard touchdown that didn't connect, and Stroud and Tank weren't exactly on the same page, but it was so close. Everybody that watched the game knows that Tank Dell had a 60-yard touchdown called back. And so there were literally 3 touchdowns and 100+ total yards, 110 to 115, 120 total yards called back or not connected on in this game that should have been there for Tank Dell. So Tank Dell missed out on a huge 100+ affair and multiple touchdowns. So the 50 on 5 receptions for a touchdown was nice. It was a good day for Tank, but Tank should have done so much better, and it's painful to watch that. Again, This man right here, Devonta Smith, 7 receptions, 106 yards, and a touchdown. Devonta Smith is such a good receiver, and I know a lot of people got caught up in the, oh my God, it's A.J. Brown, and there's no other chance, no worldly way that Devonta Smith could become the number 1 wide receiver in Philly again. But I think there is an element of rotation that is at play here, and I think that A.J. Brown most certainly will have probably more wide receiver 1 games than Devonta Smith, I think, for the next year and a half. I would say maybe even 2 years, but we'll say a full year from now. Like maybe by the end of next season, he's locked in. But I think they can certainly almost rotate on down through the remaining part of the season. And we've seen it really the last 2 weeks, right? Now, A.J. Brown had a good day. I think I've got his stat line in here somewhere. A.J. Brown had a nice day. But this man had 106 yards and a touchdown, pulled in 7 receptions, and has been an absolute monster and one of the best buy lows we've talked about on this show for a while. So to the moon.
To the moon.
To the moon goes Devonta Smith. I love Devonta Smith. He's such a monster. Tank Dell, we got Tank Dell taken care of here. We've got Devonta Smith taken care of here. We have this man right here, Josh Allen. What a monster this man is. And what an easy trade for player in so many ways last week and the week prior and the week prior. He's really been one of the easier players to trade for. There's a lot of doubt surrounding his team, his mentality, the team's mentality, Diggs's headspace, offensive coordinator. Then there's a change, and what's that going to mean? And so there was a chance, an opportunity, probably every once in a while, not the whole entire way, but since he's been struggling a little bit, the last handful of weeks back, rotational wise, this guy was capable of being had. Now, I don't think a lot of you can even trade anymore, but if there was trading in your league, there's no way to get him now. This man had 339 yards, 2 touchdowns, and another scores on the ground, totaling 4 scores for 339, and he was just an absolute monster. Took over this game to the moon. Josh Allen took over the game until his counterpart on the other side of the football. Where's my Jalen Hurts graphic when I need it? I was just about to roll into it perfectly. I set it up beautifully, and I can't find Jalen Hurts anywhere. Until Jalen Hurts, here's the A.J. Brown stat line, 37 yards and a touchdown. Again, very nice day, even though he didn't have quite the yardage totals that Devonta Smith had. But where's Jalen Hurts when you need him? Jalen, where is he at? I can't even find him. Does anybody see where his graphic might be? I don't know. Maybe I don't even have it on here. I think I do. I have to have it on here. I have to. I can put it on my screen right now if you give me a second. But Jalen Hurts came into this one. I mean, these two quarterbacks rotated one blow after the other. Boom, boom, boom. Just constant scoring, overtime. And then Jalen Hurts put the entire thing on his back. And if you watch that game, it was so fun to watch. What an amazing game. Probably one of the better games I've seen all year. Easily. Anybody that watched this game would know what I'm talking about. Box score Bobbies might not know what I'm talking about. Box score Bobbies may have not watched this game in its entirety. Let me see if I can send this to myself. Okay, here's Jalen Hurts' stat line and graphic. I can't believe I didn't have that ready. Here it is. 18 of 31, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception, 65 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. A whopping 5 total touchdowns and 265 total yards. Jalen Hurts was a monster. And he put his team on his back as well. And these two guys can carry you. If you own either Allen or Jalen Hurts, they can carry you single-handedly through any matchup. They're just absolute league winners. Oh, there it is. It was sitting there the whole time, just right there, sitting right there next to Calvin Ridley. Who's this? Is this the Bijan graphic? Okay, Bijan. This is my pile of players I've already talked about, so I can't go near that. Yell at me if I do. Calvin Ridley, 5 of 6 for 89 yards and a touchdown. Calvin Ridley continues to deliver. And there is something to what you may hear some people say and talk about, that Ridley was asked to do a lot of the dirty work, stretch the field, stretch the defense, do a lot of the go routes and the low conversion stuff you heard me talk about. That's why Ridley doesn't have big games every week, because he's asked to run a lot of these low conversion routes, streaks, go routes, to stretch the defense so that Kirk and the boys can get all the easy work, the high percentage caliber receptions and passes thrown their way. And with Zay Jones back, that's freed up Ridley to get a lot of that underneath work as well. And so that's why you're seeing a lot of the conversion rate increase with these two, T-Law Dog and Ridley. Also, it's not just that, though. It is that they're starting to realize they need to use Ridley more. And he's connecting, T-Law is connecting with them in a way that I think even if he was running a lot of these routes, these go routes and these low conversion routes, they probably would connect more than they were anyway. So he dropped a touchdown pass. It was a hard catch. It wasn't like he was in his breadbasket and he was sitting there by himself in the end zone. He was reaching, he was stretching out, it touched his fingertips. They always say, Dad used to always tell you when you're playing catch, if you can touch it, you can grab it and catch the football. And so he did touch it. He did grab it. It was like, I want to say it was something along the lines of, where's my football when I need it? It was along the lines of something like this. It was literally like not in his full hand. It was in like a fingertip situation. And he dropped it and he was upset. He went to the sideline, slammed his helmet down, sat down in disgust of himself, and, knew he needed to do better. So he should have had another touchdown here, about 100 yards. He's always drawing all kinds of PI situations too. So he's very useful. He's very, very, very productive. Ridley should continue to deliver. So if you got Ridley, he's a must start. But some of your situations are crazy. Trevor Lawrence, 23 of 38 for 364, one touchdown, one interception, and another rushing touchdown. So good day for T-Law. I think we can play the T-Law milk clip. I think this qualifies. He keeps winning. He keeps delivering. He's getting better every single day. This guy's just getting better at football. And they keep winning. They keep doing well with him. And people still want to crap on T-Law somehow, some way. But when you throw for 364 and 2 tutties off of a 4-touchdown game, the week prior, you're kind of in a groove. And your team's winning. And I think your milk might be back on the shelves.
A lion lives among us, posing as half man, half lawman. His golden mane is reportedly 6 feet long and is bathed in milk.
That's right.
His marvelous mane grows longer with each breath he takes. Legend has it that if you say T-Law in the dark in the bathroom 3 times, you lose your league instantly. Conspiracy fanatics have linked his triangle bone structure to the ancient pyramids and alien theory. Law Dog Milk for manes on sale this season. Soak your mane and win a league. Law Dog Milk.
Law Dog is back, and I really like how he's been moving the football down the field. Now, ETN, if I've got ETNs right here, I think I do. This is another kind of tough situation to digest and break down. He's been, you could say, taking away some of ETN's rushing touchdown opportunities. He's, Law Dog scores 2 touchdowns last week, scores 1 touchdown this week on the ground, 3 touchdowns. It does take away from the opportunities that he has, but no excuses, because he had a couple opportunities to punch in a touchdown. Now, granted, he was swarmed behind the line of scrimmage. It wasn't like it was the best play call at the right moment, or the offensive line broke down at that moment. Maybe it was a good play call, just bad offensive line, efforts. But he didn't score, and he's looking very bad for half of the game and started to pick things up a little bit, ripped off a couple nice plays. But 20 carries for 56 yards was not what fantasy owners had hoped for. Now, the 4 catches for 30 yards kind of salvaged his day, because he ended up having a 10-point type of effort with the 56, and then you get the 4 points for 4 receptions, the 3 points for 30 yards. So he had like a little over 10 points, 11 points. But it was still very, very underwhelming and very concerning because Dearness Johnson's ripping off long runs, and you just wonder if some of his workload is going to get dialed back. Are they going to say something publicly like, we need to cut back on his rushing attempts to keep him fresh? And then it's game over for him being an RB1. He's an RB2 at that point at most. I still have faith in him. I'm not saying sell high or anything like that, but if you can even trade. But it just depends on what somebody could offer you, what it looked like. But it's not looking great for ETN right now. We'll have to wait and see. DeAndre Swift rushed 14 times for 80 yards. And the important part here is that he's looking like he broke through that wall that's kind of been holding him back. We always say rookie walls are around week 10, 11. He's no rookie, but he's also in a sense playing like a rookie because he's never really had the full workload before. So he's hitting that wall in a similar fashion, and I think he broke through it because his yards per carry look good. He looks crisp and concise and fresh and strong, and they just, sometimes they game script him out long enough for like a quarter and a half that you don't really get a lot, and he needs to pop something off in order to salvage the day. But from the most part, this is a really good day. And if you're looking at it beyond box scores, if you're not a box score Bobby, you know that he had a pretty decent day and things look up for him. Let's see here. Derrick Henry, 18 totes for 76 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's doing pretty well considering we all know he's fallen off tremendously talent-wise or explosion-wise, but they're finding ways to get him the ball in open space. They're finding a way to allow him to get momentum to bulldoze through into the end zone. But I don't know that he'll be consistent. This is the kind of player, it feels very much like Barkley. 1 week he's going to have 150 yards and 2 touchdowns because he's that good, Barkley is. And Derrick Henry's not that good anymore like Barkley, but he can be if he's set up properly. If you want to, utilize his skill sets and what he does do, his strengths well, he can have that game like Barkley. But both these guys play in offenses where they're going to have that kind of game, like 76 yards and 2 touchdowns, then next week 30 yards. So I wouldn't feel like Henry's going to be consistent by any means, but it is nice to see him doing something. Olave was off to a hot start, then ruled out with a concussion. He had 114 yards on 7 catches before exiting the game with a concussion. And most times there's been a couple handful, you can count on one hand how many times a player has been concussed and played the very next week. You can count it on one hand. So very, very, very likely he misses a week, which is devastating for especially the way he's been playing. So hang tight on news on Olave. This one here, Nico Collins, 7 of 9 for 104 yards and a touchdown. He had a really good day. Again, Tank Dell should have 2 other touchdowns and another 100 total yards, but it is what it is. But Nico looked good too. Stafford, great pickup if he's out there on waivers. He is in maybe, a little less than 50% of leagues. He's still out there on waivers, probably 30 to 45%. I'd say is more accurate. 229 yards, 4 touchdowns. Stafford and that McVay offense are just humming. Kyler Murray's playing pretty well. 256 and a tutty, and then another touchdown on the ground. So that was good. Kyler Murray kind of pulled through for people needing about 250 and 2. Travis Kelce, very distracted with this Taylor Swift situation. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say it out front. I don't know if this guy's focused or what the hell is going on. I don't know if that's part of why they're in turmoil in KC at times. But he needs to get things buttoned down. He needs to start focusing. And you can rip on me if you want on that and say, oh, he's not. He's focused. Maybe he's getting older, so he doesn't have the luxury of even slacking one little bit. Like any give anywhere, and this guy could take a tumble. 6 of 7 for 91 yards. We need him in the end zone. He's very capable. We know he's still talented, but he needs the football in the end zone. We need him to produce. Rashee Rice, 8 of 10, 107 yards and a tutty. Probably could be pretty inconsistent, although there's a chance they start utilizing him more and more and more. He is the best receiver. When we say receiver, we don't mean including Kelce. He's the best receiver on the team, and he's got one of the best targets per route run in the entire National Football League. And so the fact that he got 10 targets meant that he was going to do well. He was going to do well. When he got 10 route runs, so you knew he was going to get at least. This guy could have run 10 routes and got 10 receptions. That was the kind of production we were looking at, is what I'm trying to say. So they just need to give him more routes, and we know he's going to get the targets because he'll get laser locked on. Adams had a decent day, not great. We hoped he'd get a touchdown, but this, I think, there's more to come here. 5 of 7 for 73 yards. I think he's a good bet for like 70 and a touchdown going forward on average. I think he does have that kind of stat line. Diggs had a decent day, 74 yards and a touchdown. Feels like he's kind of wandering in the offense still, though, which is so weird, but Josh Allen proved today that he doesn't necessarily need him, and I think, we'll see how he settles with that, because Diggs has been very, very prima donna, been very diva-like, and thinking that this offense revolves around him, and it hasn't for quite some time. But it's nice to see him get 70 and a touch, and I do think he could have a phenomenal finish. Jacobs had 20 carries for 110 yards and a touchdown. Looked like an absolute machine in this game, which was great. Let's hope they continue to feed him. I think this offense is turned around in such a great way, and they're motivated. But Jacobs had unfortunately the Raiders lost the game, and that kind of demotivates, I think, that locker room a little bit. So that's the only negative. I still feel like there's risk, and I've said this all season long, that if they're not motivated in the locker room, one of Jacobs or Adams could somehow get banged up and sit out like the last 3 or 4 games of the season. But we'll see. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully they start winning and they just get motivated by winning. Pacheco rushed 15 times for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. Another moon man extraordinary, doing moon man things. Very nice to see this. 55 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, had he not scored twice, though, it would have been an okay day. So, but the touchdowns are there. They do want to run the ball. When they're near the end zone, they tend to want to give this man a chance. And I think he continues to be an amazing running back, too. And we won't call him a running back 1, but we'll say amazing running back 2 going forward for Pacheco. CJ Stroud, 26 of 36, 304, and 2 touchdowns. Phenomenal outing, and just watching this guy march down the field. It was a loss to the Jaguars, of course, but it was such a fun thing to watch this man try and come back, and he's growing so much. It's such a pleasure to watch him develop and utilize these 2 wide receivers he's got, and Dalton Schultz, a previous year's Moon Man from last year. Utilize these receivers in a way that it's just so fun to watch. Like, Nico is doing so well, and Tank Dell is potentially, a 4th or 5th rounder next year? Some would say earlier. But let's calm ourselves a little bit and say, if you're drafting today, I would love to know in the chat, where are you drafting Tank Dell? Would you draft Tank Dell in the 4th round? Is that not high enough? I don't know. I would love to know where you guys think he's going to go. But Stroud is such a fun player to watch, and he's only going to get better. He's hungry. He's absolutely hungry. Michael Pittman caught 10 of 13 for 107 yards. Looked really, really solid. This is kind of what you expect out of Pittman on a great day. There is occasionally a touchdown that goes along with that, but Pittman is definitely capable of that one game, and then 70, 80 yards. He's pretty consistent, but he does seem to be locked in as I would say their number 1 wide receiver, but Tank Dell and Downs and Pittman kind of have that Nico Tank Dell feel. There's a little rotation there, but Downs needs to get fully healthy, and I think maybe by this next contest he will be. Taysom Hill kind of bounced back a little bit, 55 receiving yards on 2 targets, and one was a deep pass. I think most of that was on 1 pass, and it was a phenomenal catch. But also 7 rushing attempts for 26 yards. So he's still getting a lot of work. He's still a pretty safe tight end to throw in on a weekly basis. I really like what he's been throwing down. I'm going to get to Super Chats right after this news here. Mike Evans, 6 of 9 for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. He continues to defy everybody that doubted him walking into the season. What an amazing pick he's become, because he was such he was like a 7th or 8th or 9th rounder. Mixon, 8 times for 16 yards. This is what we feared out of Mixon, right? They'd crowd the box. He'd get no room to run. Without Joe Burrow, I think Mixon's as good as I don't want to say done, but like not going to help you on the consistent. Mahomes, 298 yards and 2 touchdowns. Of course, we like more out of Mahomes, but he still is capable at any moment of bouncing back and doing what Josh Allen and Hurts are doing right now. Jonathan Taylor, what a gem. 15 totes, 91 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Moss was involved a little more again in this game than I think Taylor owners would want. And I think that maybe if you didn't watch the entire game, you might not fully know that, or if you haven't taken a look at the box score like Bobby has, you may not realize that. But if the touchdowns weren't there, you'd be pretty frustrated with the game probably. So it sucks that Moss is getting this involved, but I mean, Taylor's just producing. So, you know, he's a top 5, top 6 running back right now, I think, probably going forward. There aren't a lot of consistent running backs right now. This is probably a little bit of a disappointing topic right here, because Jaylen Warren really turned into an absolute, what looked like a gold mine and gem walking into this game. Now, he ran the ball 13 times. Najee ran the ball 15 times. So the discrepancy between carries wasn't that great. Najee ripped off a couple long runs, and he had a touchdown to boot. And this guy, Jaylen Warren, I believe he had a fumble too. Had 49 yards, and he did not, what do you have, 3 receptions for 13 yards. Did not have the day that we had hoped for. And the resurgence of Najee with the new coordinator concerns me at the current moment of whether he's going to be the lead dog like we thought he could be walking into this game. Kind of a disappointing, I think, note this week. Kind of one of the I guess, the negatives you could say taking away from this week is that the better running back, and some might say, hey, Najee looked better, blah, 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 but I think we all know that Jaylen Warren's the better running back. It's a little disheartening that the offensive coordinator in this new little Steelers system that had like 400 total yards or something, didn't score a lot though. They didn't utilize Warren more in that 400 yards. So we'll see what happens. I don't think anybody should write off Jaylen Warren, but he certainly feels like maybe no longer, it happens that quickly in fantasy, no longer the golden boy that he was walking out of week number 11. Like walking out of week 12, it's a stark difference between the two values. Saquon Barkley, this is how bad the Giants offense is. This is why whenever I give Saquon Barkley advice, I cringe, because I know he could screw me and have 150 yards and 2 touchdowns when I tell someone to bench him. And I know he can have 46 yards and nothing when I tell the individual to start him. He is great. His offense is horrible. The Giants and the Patriots, who faced off against each other today, have the 2 worst offenses in the National Football League. And I just don't know where to rank Barkley. If you own him, you got to start him. But from week to week, you're rolling the dice that they have enough offense and game script that can allow this man to do anything. Alvin Kamara, 69 yards, added 4 catches for 50. It was a good day. It wasn't what we wanted. We wanted a touchdown, but the yardage was certainly there. The PPR work was certainly there. Jamar Chase, 4 of 6 for 81 yards. This is kind of what you expect. This is probably more of a good day than a mediocre day for Jamar Chase moving forward with Browning in there. I don't know. I was actually surprised a couple times. I felt like, first of all, 2 of his big plays were on tip passes that he grabbed out of the air that were tipped and not even intended for him, or they're intended for him. They got tipped along the way or whatever. But Jamar Chase shouldn't even had 81 yards. I don't know what to expect out of him. I do not feel like he's a wide receiver 1 going forward. I feel like I just feel like he's gonna have a couple moments like that, but they're gonna be few and far between. I had a chance to get Kyren and Acham, but fell asleep thinking who to drop between waivers. That sucks. E111. That's a tough tale to tell the grandkids. Abe says Kyren to the moon. Absolutely. Kyren's running back 2 right now. He has to be. He has to be running back 2. There's just no argument. When we open the phone lines, I'd love to hear a proper argument. Cooper Kupp, this is a negative. I don't know what's going on. I mean, he was playing hurt, obviously. Might have been decoy. We knew that this could be the case. He might not have been 100% healthy, but 3 of 5 targets, 18 yards. Has Father Time caught up to him, or is he like, how does this offense look so good, the Rams offense, but he does nothing? And even Puka Nacua was non-existent in this game for the most part. Like, to have the Rams offense doing this, I honestly believe one of, if not both, these guys do bounce back to a certain degree next week in the coming weeks. I do think we'll be back here talking about one of them, if not both of them, being back in the good graces of fantasy worlds. I do strongly believe that. But we also have to remember, and this is kind of what we started to say at the beginning of his breakout, is that he's never done this before to this degree. They're overfeeding him. Could he kind of slow down and break down? And is he going through a rookie wall per se? And could he break through it? Is he? Sometimes the rookie wall isn't week 9, 10, 11. Sometimes it's 12, 13, 14. It just depends on the player. But he could break through it, or he could get hurt. And one of those two things is probably possible. I don't know. I don't think it'll be something in between. I would say he either breaks through the rookie wall, and like I said with Swift's not a rookie, but he's still going through like you could call it a first-timer, full workload wall. Like any player that's getting overfed to a crazy degree that's never seen it before is going to have a similar thing to a rookie wall. Puka Nacua has a rookie wall sitting right in front of him that he's trying to pile drive through. And he's either going to get hurt or he's going to break through it successfully and head back up on up where he was. But very, very bad games for these guys. 27 yards, 18 yards, just absolute debacle. This Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty pick landed, as a couple of the other ones did. I had a good day on Underdog. I don't know how you guys did on Underdog, but this Bijan was a smash, along with some other ones. Bijan 1.25 times Scorcher that he'd score a touchdown. That was fantastic. And that is all of the news, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you hanging with me through that. And I've got super chats here. The first super chat of the night gets a standing ovation from Anthony. Anthony, you monster, you. I'm hitting the wrong buttons left and right. It's not the speed round Q&A, Smitty.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Okay, this one says, man, I got 2 L's with strong squad. I need that Smitty magic. Anthony, sorry you got the L's today. God, we have so many good players doing amazing. We got Stanton with the $20 hauler. He gets immediate assistance. Let me throw Stanton the $20.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Stanton, appreciate you. Bijan, 750 plus for 2 TDs. You already know Stanton was on that. To the victor go the spoils, and to his boys. Smitty, you're my boy. Next time you are coming with me. Oh, damn. This is, remember with Stanton. Stanton, call in real quick. Remember when I took the $50 hauler instead of the 2 touchdowns? Oh my God! And I told you I took it for the team. I knew that if I turned down Stanton's offer of he would put plus 750 on that $50. So yeah, I missed out on a big bank. But I did it for the team. I knew that if I turned it down, Stanton, that it was going to happen. And I did that for you. But remember that Stanton offered, I'll either put 100 down on a Bijan scored 2 tutties. I love it. Take a lap on me, but I feel good about it. It needed to happen. But that is such an amazing story. I knew we were going to share in this moment, Stanton. Do you guys remember that? Oh, that's amazing. Here's Stanton. Stanton, I'm so happy for you, bro.
What's up, man?
So, did you put down $100 from the score?
Yeah,
$100 to score 2.
Second, man.
I'm sorry.
Can you hear me, man?
Yeah. Stanton, so you put down $100 that Bijan would score 2 tutties, right?
Yes, sir.
And what did that pay out? What was the amount of money?
$50 plus my 100 back.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome.
Well, the thing was, dude, I was like, okay, the first time I wanted to do it, I was like, you can have the $50 hauler, or you're going to come with me. And we missed because Bijan got that first one right before the first half. And they're playing Arizona, dude, and I know he's going to get the second, but he didn't. But I'm like, what? They get the bye week, and then he comes back, and I'm like, dude, dude
so I actually, this is, okay, so I actually did make the right call because that was per the previous week.
Yes, not on this one. That's what I'm saying, though. I had to do this in seclusion, incognito.
I got
just to make sure that I could get it right. So now that we know we have the blueprint to what's going on,
okay,
I'm gonna come back with the same thing for you. I'm gonna come back with the same Holland.
Do I have to make this decision right now?
Well, I mean, you want to do it next week? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna let it ride. I'm gonna put it on Bijan. Bijan 2 touchdowns. Let's do it.
You want the $50 holler on that?
I want to put it on Bijan scoring 2 touchdowns. I'm with you, bro. We're riding.
Okay. I'm with you. We will ride. It is down. I'll try to get the best money available. I don't know the number right now, but we will do it, dude. And I'll never stiff you. You know that.
Doing it live.
A loyal member.
Hey, bro, I'm not even worried about it. You're the man, the myth, the legend. Looks like I made the right decision, but I tried to take one for the team. I forgot it was the previous week. Okay. Well, hey, congrats on putting.
It was
congrats,
good today, dude. It was good today.
Yeah, congrats on the 750. So he just put $20 or $100 down on Bijan scoring 2 tutties, and he paid plus 750. I love it, bro. Nice work.
Hey, you got to throw them out there sometimes, man. You have to.
Yeah, attaboy. Appreciate you, bro.
Hey, dude. Here's the deal. My in-laws are still they just went to sleep, and I'm trying to get them out of here. And I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, if you need me to call up and pretend to be I can do some sort of prank call on them and let me know if you need me to help drive them out of the house. I can definitely do that. If you want, I could.
Love it, man.
Yeah, I'll call up and pretend to be the gas inspector, and say that we need the place cleared out, and we'll play a little alarm sound and everything. We'll figure it out. All right, later, bro. Appreciate you.
It'd be nice, man. Hey, you're my voice, man. I appreciate you.
Okay, Stanton dropped $20 holler to share that he won $750 on Bijan scoring 2 touchdowns. It's absolutely phenomenal. One of one, appreciate you, says, how is Garrett Wilson jersey draft leaderboard? I should have an update on that this week. I know Rockout was like near the top. I think I have the standings right here from last week though. So I'll figure them out. I think it's right here. Yeah, here's the standings. Let me send it to myself and put it on screen. This is from last week though. This does not include this week. So for the Garrett Wilson jersey, here you go. I think this is it. Or no, that might be for the no. This isn't it. Hold on. I think it's this one. I'm not 100% sure which one it is. It might be this one. Okay, I'm not 100% sure. This one might be. We have 2 different contests going on. I think this is for the Garrett Wilson. I'm almost positive, but I'm not 100% sure. So I think it was. It's Abraham, Rockout, George from the Bay. Rockout's got the 6th spot as well. I've got the 16. But I had a lot of Bijan shares, so it's quite possible that I climbed up a couple. George from the Bay's in here a couple times. The reactors. I forget. Rockout, does this look like the one I have on screen right now? Does this look like the Garrett Wilson order?
Yeah.
Okay, Rockout, I heard that noise again. What is it? There's a beep going on in the background. You've got a fire alarm, a smoke alarm. Didn't you learn anything from Scott Hansen today? That you got to get the smoke alarms, all up to date and everything because they could save your life. What is that beep? What's that beeping sound? Just be honest with us, because I heard it. I just heard it.
I mean, it might be a fire alarm, but that's probably over a room.
Just listen for it. You're so blind to it because you hear it every 30 seconds. There it is again.
Okay, I heard it that time.
You did hear it? So you've literally been sitting in a house with a beep every 30 seconds. Let's all be quiet real quick. Rock out. Let it. Don't mute. Let's hear it. Rock out. Let it be. Rock out. He's not let. Are you putting it on mute, Rock out? There it is. There it is. That was it. Now you telling me, Rockout, with a straight face, you had no idea until I brought it to your attention right now that you've had a smoke alarm battery beeping every 30 seconds in your house and you're just living through it. No idea.
I got multiple alarms, so I'm covered in my room.
I know, but I'm saying you don't hear it and it doesn't drive you nuts. I'd be going and unplugging that thing. Yeah, I mean, replacing the battery is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, thank you, Garrett, for the super chat. $20 hauler, by the way.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Okay, Rockout, what can I help you with real quick?
Yeah, remember I said Charbonnet, Purdy, and McCorin laid the egg. I basically ended up winning by 30.
Nice, bro. Congrats on that.
And I went from 4-5 to 7-5.
4-5 to 7-5. Nice job, Rockout. Rockout to the moon. He's doing it live, people. He's doing it live. He is doing it live. Anything else you got on the docket?
Depending how Dobbs does tomorrow, would you rather have Dobbs or Love?
Love. For right now, Love looks really, really solid. He definitely feels like he's back in a groove, back in the groove that he was at the start of the year. And the good news is he doesn't even have Aaron Jones or Musgrave, and he's doing it. So Aaron Jones will be back, and hopefully that will be a difference maker.
And how you rank Cup right now, him having bad game?
Cup to me is probably still a top, like a low-end wide receiver 1 to high-end wide receiver 2, but that could fade if he has one more bad game where we can kind of conclude that he might not be coming back. But like I said earlier, I think him and Puka have a chance of really rebounding next week as teams start to say, how are we shutting down Kyren Williams? Not that they'll be super successful, because Kyren can be thrown to, he can run the ball. He can't be game scripted out. He's almost matchup proof. But I think they most definitely could be they could be bounce back candidates for sure. All right, rock out. I gotta get these super chats. So open the phone lines in a little bit. All right, thanks, man.
Cool.
Travis is also a Mars man, so he can break through. Phone lines aren't open, so I got to go quick, Travis. But go ahead and ask your question real quick. Travis? Oh, let's see here. Make it as quick as you can, Travis, because I don't have the phone lines open, but you do have a Mars man card you can cut through. So hit me with it real quick, and then I'll open the phone lines after.
I was just going to... I don't know, maybe I didn't appear on the...
You're cutting in and out, Travis. We can't even hear you.
How about now?
Try again.
How about now?
Yeah, try again. Keep talking.
All right. Garrett Wilson listed off. And
yeah, you try calling back, Travis. We can't hear you. I don't know what he's saying. Smitty, my team had a great week, but I am 16 points ahead, and only DJ Moore is my last opponent. Do you think I can take? You think I take an L? I'm 16 points ahead, and only DJ Moore is my last opponent. I think you mean your opponent has DJ Moore. It's gonna be close, bro. Depends on if he has a tutty. If he doesn't have a tutty, I bet you skate by. If he scores, I bet you don't. But that's close. I'd probably rather not need 16 points from him. Is Kincaid hitting that rookie wall now? I don't think so, Kerry. I think they just need to utilize him a little bit differently. But I mean, he's okay. He's still like 5 receptions and everything. I mean, I think when you get 10 points from your tight end and he's not supposed to be this, top 4 or 5 tight end, that's going to happen from time to time. I don't necessarily think Kincaid's falling off. In Dynasty, he also got a late start, so I don't know that he'll even have a rookie wall. In a Dynasty 2 QB league, would you trade Goff and Kamara for Kyren and Stroud? Goff and yes, in a heartbeat. I mean, first of all, look, this is like a really bad trade for that other owner. Dynasty, Kamara's got almost no time left at all, and Goff the same thing. He's an older player. Stroud's just getting started, bro. You could say, part of me thinks this is a cute offer, Christian Silva, that this isn't something that they're offering or anything. It's on the table. You're just thinking you're making a good offer. But Kamara and Goff for Stroud straight up, Stroud's worth more. So, or is it too late? Is it too late? So I'm kind of sensing that you're trying to make that offer now. You're going to get laughed at, bro. But try it. If you pull that off, you're an absolute trade wizard. But there's no way someone's giving you Stroud for that, let alone throwing Kyren in, bro. But try. Again, trade wizard. Herbert or Madison tomorrow. I'm going to go Herbert with no Foreman. AJ, but it's close. AJ Brown, Bijan Robinson for Kamara and Devonta Smith. I'd rather have AJ and AJ Brown and Bijan. But it's a very good question. It's very close. Travis, you can try calling in again. Was offer Mahomes, Dell, Kelsey for CJ and Tyreek. Mahomes, Dell, Kelsey for CJ, Stroud, and Tyreek. That's pretty even, Bryson. That's pretty damn even because you get do you get a quarterback upgrade? Is Stroud as good as Mahomes from here on out for this year at least? I definitely don't think so. I think Mahomes is going to. He's never going to just level out. He's having a rough year. But Kelsey, Dell, Dell's so good. Kelsey's so good. Mahomes, that's a lot. I'd probably say I'd rather have the Mahomes, Kelsey, Dell side by a hair. But the chat disagrees. Vote if you disagree in the chat. That's really arguable. Zay Flowers and Waddle to the moon. Let's go, Gerardo. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, look. Flowers looks phenomenal. He looks phenomenal. Vin, appreciate you, Vin, with the super chat. I'll get to you in 1 second. And Mayo, appreciate your super chat. And again, Travis, you can try calling back. It's just we couldn't hear you. It was cutting in and out. Andre, $5 hauler, won 113 to 112. Had AJ Brown, I assume, or Diggs caught one. Oh, had AJ or Diggs caught one pass in OT, I would have lost. Dodge a bullet. Now 8-4. Also need 5 receptions from DJ, and I win $200 on Underdog. Attaboy, Andre. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. And let me put the link in the live chat right now. Click that link in the live chat, Underdog Fantasy. They'll double your first deposit up to $100. Traded Henry for Kyren on Monday. Elvis. It's a phenomenal trade. You got him, bro.
Got him.
Picks. Traded Jacobs for JT. Thoughts? You the man. Traded Jacobs for JT. I like it. Look, I don't want to say that can't be good for both sides, but I definitely like that trade. $5 hauler. My team is Stroud, Fields, Bijan, Algier, Gibbs, St. Brown, Pittman, JSN. Any moves you'd recommend? Stroud, Fields, Bijan. If Fields does really well, I would shop Fields to a QB needy owner. I like your running back stable. Evans is playing awesome. St. Brown's fine. I like this team. Like maybe you're trying to trade like Ayuk and or Swift to upgrade into Kelsey, like if you wanted something like that. I don't think you can get Josh Allen or Hurts anymore. You could go after Mahomes on the low or just say, you know what, I'm just going to stick with Stroud. Screw it. I'm going to ride it out with Stroud. And then it's kind of like, honestly, bro, unless you can give Ayuk and Swift to get Kyren, which is probably off the table now. I don't know. Pittman, maybe Pittman for Kupp. Take a gamble. Pittman for Kupp. Pittman for Puka. I like your team though, Mayo. I think I like the depth you have. Maybe let it ride, bro. 1 for 1. or one of one. I'm looking at my drafts, and I have Garrett Wilson jersey draft team with 1766 points. I think that list was other contests you mentioned. I don't know, bro. The ones that I have, I don't see that. There's no 16. Well, actually, I don't know because I don't have. This is not an updated list, like I said to you earlier. This is in the 1400, so this is like a week or a week and a half behind. I'll get a new list soon. So you're not going to find 1700 on this list because it's at the 1400 level. Hey, Smitty, I'm 5-7 and would love any suggestions you might have to improve my team. Kyler, Gibbs, Swift, Achane, Diggs, Olave, Dell, Kincaid, Javonte, Pickens, Sharps, McBride, Keaton Mitchell. Thanks. Gibbs, Swift, Achane, Diggs, Olave, Dell, Kincaid. I'd probably say if it's me, I let this team ride too, because what are you going to do? Sell Olave with a concussion? You can't. You're going to sell Diggs low? You can't. You can sell Achane coming off injury? You can't. Swift isn't popping off, but I still like him. You can't sell him. Gibbs had a bad game. Can't sell him. There's really no way to, unless you were to trade, let's say, Adele and Javonte for like Kupp, and you just take a chance on something like that. But one might argue that Dell's better than Kupp. And could you get an ETN using Swift and Pickens, or Swift and potentially Pickens or something like that? I mean, try for ETN. ETN would be a good buy low right now. Upgrading Kyler is hard to do because, you know, what quarterback can you actually go get? Can you trade a Kyler for Mahomes by giving up a Dell or Pickens? I guess those would be the only moves I'd recommend. Thank you for the $10 holler, by the way. Those are probably the only things that make sense, but those are pretty good ones. I think those moves could potentially make you a better team. For sure, Vin. I'd look into those. Mayo, you're in the same boat. Like, what are you going to do? You know, trade away somebody that hasn't exactly popped off like, well, I mean, you could sell high on Pittman, and I just like your team. Evans is playing so good right now. Like, would you even trade him for a Cooper Kupp? Probably not. Evans is playing better. Would you even trade him for... I'm not saying I wouldn't take the gamble on Diggs. If I'm you, I'd explore that. I think it's worth trying to, you know, maybe take a gamble that Diggs bounces back heavy. But, like, are you crazy for saying I'd rather have Evans? No. Evans is playing that good. I like your team a lot. I don't know that I'm making any moves. Thomas with a super chat. Panic on Eckler. Kyren to the moon. Yes, Kyren to the freaking moon. Panic on Eckler. A little bit. I mean, look, I mean, as much as they are good buy lows for me mid-season on, like I admit, they've been on my list. Go get Eckler on the cheap. Go get Cooper Kupp on the cheap, because they're no longer valued at their draft day value. But keep in mind that Kupp and Eckler were two of my very biggest avoids for 2023 entirely, because the age of drop-off for RBs is right at 28 years old where Eckler is. It is what it is. Was he a good gamble, and is he still kind of a good gamble at a buy low level because you're not paying what people paid on draft day? Absolutely. But there's still risk involved. Has Cooper Kupp been a very solid, low-risk, go-get player on the chance that he does bounce back? Yeah, but he was a complete avoid at the cost of entry at the beginning of the season. So, I don't know. I think for the most part, our preemptive, pre-week one avoid list was absolutely on the money. Like, there were a couple players that I said stay away from that have done very well, and I admit that, but we did a very good job, I think, for the most part, of staying away from some older players that were in drop-off territory. Thomas, appreciate you. All right, phone lines for just a quick bit. Dial into the show. Travis, I don't know if you're still there. Dial in. I'm going to take the sweater off. It's absolutely hot. Get your Grindhouse apparel. Grindhouse, Grndhaus. I pulled my back out on top of having the flu. So I've been kind of a mess the last couple days. Or not the flu. I can't even say it right. The food poisoning. Flu or... I think it was food poisoning. It could have been the stomach flu because I'm already over it. You know, it was too quick. All right, dial in. Sell high on Kyren or keep him? I'd keep him, Earl. Why would you want to sell him? Sell him for what? What are you gonna get? I mean, bring an offer our way and we'll take a look at it. But bro, what are you gonna sell Kyren for? You better be selling Kyren for a top 5 running back and a top 10 wide receiver. And even then, I might say no. Jalen Hurts has a slow start and had Stroud on the bench, but Hurts turned it on big time. What a game, Superfish. I'm glad you had him, bro. Good job, Superfish. Superfish to the moon. I need to upgrade my QB. Someone's wife is playing and has Josh Allen, but is not even playing at all. Such a waste of talent. So Josh Allen's on their bench. He won't be on their bench any longer. So who's their quarterback? Maybe their quarterback can be traded for. But I doubt they bench Josh Allen next week. They're definitely going to play him next week. I have Brees and Mixon already, and my wide receivers are Evans, Lockett, and McLaurin in a 14 team. That's pretty rough. I won't lie, Earl. Mixon, Brees, Evans is good, obviously. Lockett, McLaurin. Maybe I could sell Kyren for a really good wide receiver. No. You see, your mentality is already not where it needs to be with Kyren. You need to sell Kyren for a really good receiver and a really good running back. Not just one. Like, let me put it this way. Kyren for Hill is the only wide receiver you should be taking 1-for-1. Okay? Kyren for anyone lesser than Tyreek Hill, you deserve a top 10 running back in addition to your really good wide receiver, Earl. You need to really understand how much value you're sitting on. Because you're about to trade a block of gold in for a piece of silver. You know what I'm saying? Rock out. I'm sorry, Travis, are you calling back in? I don't know if my phone line crashed. Maybe it was my phone line that crashed. Yeah, keep Kyren, man. Keep Kyren. Kyren's absolutely glorious, bro. Earl, don't do it. Don't do it, Earl. Don't freaking do it, Earl. All right, Travis, let's try this again. Hello?
Can you hear me?
I think so.
All right. It's kind of like windy here, so I don't know. I might have bad service. So one of the teams I got started 0-3, then I won 6 straight, and now I've lost 3 in a row. So it's kind of on the edge. Like I don't think I can win the championship as it stands. In next week, I have Kincaid, Diggs, and Hawkinson all on bye. So would you be taking some big swings with trades to try to, pull in more elite players? Are you willing to overpay in a situation like that to try to just solidify the starting lineup and take a big swing?
It depends. Like here's the thing I won't do. Earl, I'm sorry, I'm not picking on Earl's questions. I'm trying to help Earl. But Earl said okay about trading Kyren. Thank you. Just the dudes in my league are stingy, but after this game I can definitely squeak out a deal like that. Yeah, don't let the stinginess of the owners make you take the best offer you can find, the best bad offer you can find. You don't make a trade if you're like there's no excuse you should have as to underselling your player. You know what I mean? Like don't trade. because like you're going to score more with Kyren than you are with this bad trade you're about to make. Like when hopefully Draven's not watching right now, but Draven made an awful trade, a couple trades in his league, I think one of which has worked out so far, but because no one else would give him anything, so he just did the best offer he could find, and that's not the way to trade. So make sure you. So to answer your question, Travis, I'll do anything that makes my team score more points, but I don't know. Like, would I trade for a Cup if I was you? Yeah, I think Cup would have the allure to go get Eckler. Yeah, maybe he's a worry right now, but like maybe you go after him in the hope that he bounces back. Puka Nacua, you go after Puka, even though you have Cup. You could just say, man, this McVay offense will be great. Other players to go after. Let me look at my thefantasyfootballshow.com rankings and see if I can come up with a couple names for you.
I was gonna ask you. So right now I have Kyler and Love that I've been rolling with at quarterback. This one kid has Allen and Dak. Would you be willing to trade like a Kenneth Walker and another piece? I know Walker's hurt, but to get one of those two QBs, or you think I should just roll with Kyler?
Yeah. I mean, I doubt he's going to give up. Who'd you say? Who is it? Dak and Mahomes?
He has Dak and Allen.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to trade Allen now, probably, but yeah, of course I would. But no one's going to take Walker and a piece for Allen after that game.
What about Cup? I have Cup. Would you hold on Cup?
No one's going to give you anything for Cup.
You'd be surprised with this league, but
well, I mean, test me.
But you think I'd have to? You think I'd have to give up something? Probably that would hurt my team too much. Then.
Yeah, I mean, probably. I would say so. Looking at this list right here that I've got, this is just a few names. I've grabbed a few from my site here, just looking at rankings and just what comes to mind. I'd say Puka, JJ, Cup. I know you have them. I'm just putting it out there for other people too. ETN, Pollard, HN. Those feel like in Mahomes because people just feel like he's not going to bounce back. Those are probably the best chances you would take on a player. I'm not saying there isn't risk with every single one of them. There is. And Walker would be another one, kind of, but you already have him. But these are the guys that, if you're asking me, would I take a chance if I was probably not going to win and I needed a big swing? Yeah, I'd take a chance on these guys.
All right, so like I said, I have Walker, I have Cup, I have HN, and then next week I have Diggs, Kincaid, and Hawkinson all on bye. So I guess I might have to kind of sit tight. And then Gibbs, you still have Gibbs as like a top 5 running back.
Yeah, I think he's definitely Gibbs is probably 4 to 8. I want to give him the respect he deserves here, but you got to also have the realization that could eventually, you could continue to rotate a little bit. It's 4 to 8.
Clearly higher than Charbonnet and Walker right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, because the kid who has Gibbs is the second a player doesn't have a 20-point week, he starts selling people in this league. So
yep,
I may be able to scoop him up. So all right, I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Travis. Appreciate you, bro. Later.
Talk to you later.
Rock out. What else can I help you with, Rock out?
Yeah, I got somewhat tough decision. I either have to drop JSN or Mitchell from the Ravens because I need a tight end for this coming week, and Kincaid's out.
Yeah, I'd probably I guess I'd drop JSN only because unless, let's say, Lockett or DK is injured and looking not likely for the next contest, and you know that before you submit it.
Yeah, unless I can trade those 2 for tight end.
Mm-hmm.
But probably JSN if I can't do that.
Yeah.
All right, that's it.
All right, rock out to the moon, bro. Appreciate you. I'm probably gonna end it here anyway because I'm still kind of running on low energy. All right, later, bro. Appreciate you. So appreciate everybody that super chatted tonight. Appreciate everybody that's asked questions. I appreciate everybody. I still have a little bit of remnants of my stomach bug or stomach food poisoning, whatever it was. I don't really know for sure. But it came and went pretty quickly. But I also like pulled my back out at the same time. Like, it was just a mess. I still am in pain. So like my back's killing me. I don't have very much energy. So I'll probably call it a night tonight, but we'll be back tomorrow. You know, we're live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Tomorrow is Monday. Tomorrow we have the Monday night game. And I'll be live after the Monday night game to recap. So there's 2 live streams tomorrow guaranteed, before and after the Monday night game. And then I also go live whenever big news breaks. So if anything breaks tomorrow, I'll be live then too. I will see you all tomorrow. Appreciate my mods in here, Travis and everybody else that's in here. Thank you to everybody that super chatted. Appreciate you all. Congratulations to everybody. Had a big, huge dynamite week. Congratulations to all the Kyren owners, the Ridley owners, the Zay Flowers owners, the Bijan owners, Bijan to the moon. And this goes out to all the box score bobbies. Appreciate you all. See you tomorrow. All right, prepare for take 1. All right, action.
He's a box score Bobby. He's a little sloppy. Box score Bobby. He's a box score Bobby. He's so sloppy. Bobby.
Hi, my name is Bijan Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring.
And we got one more super chat that rolled in here from Scott. Hey, Smitty, can we send Jalen to Saturn? Jalen Hurts, 6-6 after being 1-5. Have HM Mostert, JT, Garrett Wilson, Amari Cooper, Kittle. Thank you. Got JT and HN low. Nice job. Keep the faith on HN. He'll be back this coming week, I believe. And yes, we can send Jalen Hurts to Saturn.
To Saturn.
Appreciate you all.